This is me grinding, and I am now the top 1 Smoldering Blaze player. And this is a Blaze Slayer player, and this is what they sound like with proximity chat enabled.
Sigma mock those Ohio betas with my skibbity W. The schooners be cooked when I phantom tax the milling streak in front of level 10 Gia Livy.
Give me your fucking money!
Now I'm gonna explain how I got to this point and my story on how I got the top 1 in the Smoldering Blaze leaderboard. This dates back all the way to the old method I used to grind whenever Crimson Isles released, and this was my original money making method. Whenever I posted my money making method video about my own method, that was when they changed the HP of the mobs in Crimson Isles, which completely wrecked the prices because now everyone could start grinding the method, and the only reason why it used to make over 100 million coins an hour stable was literally because people had a hard time actually one-tapping these mobs. They used to be around over 3 million HP for the Magma Cube Riders. Now, as you can see, they're only 1.2 million. And at the time, because prices were expensive and all that stuff, dealing over 3 million damage with a hype was a pretty big challenge. And now that I lost my edge, everyone started grinding it, and it slowly decayed. And now the money making method makes about 1/3 of what it used to make. Some of you guys might know me for being a money making method YouTuber, and you'd be correct about that. I tried to be as original as I can with these money making methods. Whenever I go on YouTube, I always see a bunch of reposts of methods that were already posted about like 2 or 3 years ago, and they keep reposting the same methods over and over again, keep retitling the videos differently, and it seems like it still gets lots of views, but like it's not something I want to do. So I decided to keep on trying to find original methods. But as you know, the game's limited with the amount of methods there is, and I soon came to somewhat of a hard point where I actually had a hard time finding methods to post about. But one day, I was staring at these magma cubes, and I was just thinking about the magma necklace method. While thinking about that, I also remembered that killing blazes give blaze belts from their blaze ashes. So why not calculate how much money you make from killing these blazes for blaze ashes? After doing some math, I found out that it makes a decent amount, and then I warped to the smoldering area, and I also remembered that these guys drop smoldering books, which is another drop worth a few million. So after coming to the realization that simply killing a bunch of smoldering blazes without doing the slayer could make potential money, I decided to actually calculate it, and I made it as a video. I didn't expect it to make that much, but turns out that I actually made over 60 million coins an hour based off of my calculations. And I found this method all thanks to me being a money making method creator and trying to figure out methods that I could post about that are somewhat original. As a player though that makes a lot of money and that wants to make more money, after that I lost my original method due to the HP update. I decided that I'm not going to grind the smoldering method due to it not making enough, because it's only 60 million coins an hour, you know? So then I later on made a video of investing into blaze layers because it was calculated to be over 100 million coins an hour. So I tried it, but I don't know if it was just me with downtime and all that stuff and luck, but based off of my rates, I was making around 60 million coins an hour from the blaze layer itself without taking into account blaze ashes. Blaze ashes would only add up to around 80 mil an hour at most. So it was pretty sad because I invested billions into blaze layer and it's still not making as much as I hoped. But keep in mind, I am very, very unlucky, and I do not drop dices at all. and that is about 20 mil an hour sometimes based off of the high class dices. So yeah, I'm just not really lucky with dices, so that is also one of the reasons why it's not really good for me. After doing further calculations, I calculated the smoldering method making just as much as high-end Blaze Slayer players, being over the 100 million coins an hour mark. The reason why it jumped from 60 to over 100 million coins an hour through my calculation was due to me not taking into account every possible way you can cash in everything from killing these smoldering blazes. So I originally calculated 60 million coins an hour, but I was only calculating with half of the stuff that you can cash in with, so I ended up calculating over double of my previous 60 million coins an hour calculation. Essentially, that's how I figured out about this method, and now I am also going to be explaining the pros and cons of this method. The pros of this method is the amount of money it makes, the fact that you can be brain dead while also watching a show. If you play on a higher version of Minecraft, you can also simply just right click your weapon and then it just automatically starts right clicking for you, so you literally just have to hold down a button while simply aiming at the blazes, making it super easy and lazy, which who wouldn't want to make money while being lazy, you know? Now let's talk about the cons of this method. The first con is the fact that you have to actually find an empty lobby, more specifically a empty smoldering lobby, and that is because you have, well, these guys, Blaze Slayer players. You don't like those. These guys are literally all over the place. They're literally like cockroaches, and we don't like cockroaches. So whenever I lobby swap, I try to find an empty lobby, and this becomes quite difficult. Like, my strategy is to simply look at the floor here, and as you can see, there is no activity. So after checking down below, as you can see, there is literally no one here. So finding a lobby that way is pretty good, but it does take a bit of time. But now the problem is the Blaze Slayer players that enter this lobby. Now this is a problem. Whenever I grind a method, I am going inside of a loop. It's pretty much just going in circles like this and coming back to where I was originally. Now the problem with this, as you can see already, there's someone that literally joined the lobby, and as soon as I start hyping the blazes, this guy will most likely complain about it. And how I am is first come first serve. So I try to find an empty lobby, and then whenever a smoldering blaze player starts grinding in there, I simply just ignore them while also just killing their blazes anyways, and I simply ignore their chat messages until they leave. I might look like a jerk for this, but just think about it. I need to find an empty lobby, they don't, which means that it would be so much more easier for them to swap lobbies compared to me, because I need an empty lobby while they could grind in so many different areas for Blaze Slayers. Like, I see people using this spot, these two spots, these quintillion spots, this spot, and there might be even more that I just haven't even named. So like, bro, just swap lobbies if you don't like me being in it. Like, it doesn't take that long. Aatrox is actually one of the best times for me to sell, because essentially my money making method is supplying the gear to Blaze Slayer players, because smoldering books is to be placed on daggers. Blaze belts are used for the vitality and veteran attribute combination, specifically because of, well, Blaze Slayer. If you want to consider vanquished equipment, that also contributes to Blaze Slayer, which, by the way, I did not include in my calculations before for money, just in case people were wondering, because, well, it makes a bit of money from vanquished equipment, but vanquished equipment takes a long time to sell, so I just don't include it because it's just not really worth it. So yeah, but that is also something that you can do to actually contribute towards selling selling to Blaze Slayers. And then there are literally other sources which contributes to Blaze Slayers that I am not going to name, because there's just too many to actually just go over. So yeah. And then there is the cyclamen die, which does not contribute to Blaze Slayers, but does make about 4 million coins an hour. And I finally dropped my first Cyclamen die, and this was with average luck, so I finally got it based off of average luck, which is actually nice because I usually get bad luck for everything I do in life, so I'll take it. This is my lucky day. Average luck is lucky, you know. While grinding this method, there was a time where I was extremely lucky one day, and I'm gonna share both of the clips. No way. No way. There is no way. No, bro, what is going on with my luck today? I loot. Bro, So as you can see in both those clips, I dropped a suspicious vial from Loot Share, which is 5 times rarer than a regular drop, and that is 200 million coins for absolutely free. Now, the chances of this happening is extremely low, and this most likely never happens to people. But then 30 minutes later, that is whenever I dropped my Cyclamen die, which is normal because, well, I killed so many blazes, I'm gonna drop it at some point. But at the same time, it's just the fact that both of those occurrences happened so close to each other, it just blew my mind. And then a day later, me being me, I go on my ult and I claim my minions on my ult because I didn't want to swap lobbies. And then I ended up dying to the mobs that the minions spawned in, and my ult was carrying about 1 billion of my coins I had on my main profile. So I ended up losing all of those coins. I lost 500 million coins, all thanks to me forgetting that booster cookies were a thing on the alt. So like, well, you can't really blame me. I have 2 years of booster cookie on my main. I haven't ate a booster cookie in like months. So the fact that it happened is kind of natural, to be honest, but like, I really screwed up with that one because that's essentially throwing out all the money I gained with all my luck that it took me months to get and just throwing it out the window. But then a week later, after watching the Olympic video, I noticed that old Lorax was part of the video, which is a friend of mine, and then I ended up joining his Discord server. I noticed that he had a giveaway going on, which was 250 million coins for achieving a sub goal. So I decided to simply enter that giveaway, and turns out that I won the giveaway. Somehow. It was less than a 1 in 100 chance of happening, and it just happened. And I literally joined just being like, yeah, it's not gonna happen, but I might as well join, you know, it's just a click. And the fact that it happened, like, it simply means that it paid off the money I lost that very day from the minions. So whenever something stupid happens to me, I tend to get lucky to pay that luck off, and then I never get lucky unless if there's some sort of unluck involved. So I guess at least I'm grateful I get lucky whenever I'm unlucky, so yeah, I shouldn't complain. This method is extremely OP in my opinion. With the money I made from this method, I bought max talismans, got max magical power from it, and I also maxed out my museum while also buying every single purchasable upgrade on my account, like minions, essence, etc. Now I no longer need to spend money on my profile for Skyblock XP. Now I can only simply save my money and spend it on whatever I want. And my new goal with making money is to simply invest it into fire sales and see how much net worth I could get in the next 2 years from simply grinding money and then investing it, because like there's literally nothing else I can do with it. And hopefully by making hundreds of billions of coins in the near future, I am going to be able to invest coins into making videos that are entertaining for you guys and that doesn't really rely on finding methods and all that stuff, because I'm already done with trying to find methods for posting. That is not something I'm going to be able to do very often anymore. That is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys want to see more, and also see you guys next time. Peace.